And you are its rock. And I believe you can do it.
Thank you.
Banks Entertainment in partnership with Comium presents Rising Stars Africa Season 4. Compete for the grand prize of $150,000 and become Comium's brand ambassador. Auditions are slated for May 25th, 2024, June 1st, June 8th, all happening at Baobab Hotel Bigelow at 9 a.m. Audition forms are available at all Comium branches and Cash Up, Caraba Avenue, Star TV and GRTS. All audition forms are free. To participate or sponsor, please call 644 or 648-8703.
Hello and welcome to Star TV Newsroom, broadcasting from our studios in Sarakunda. I am Manager Fadera and thanks for joining us. First with our headlines. Ministry of Lands forms special task force to investigate land transaction in government layouts, enhancing transparency in land management. Assembly Select Committee on Health presents findings on Nutrition Bill 2023. Lawmakers unanimously adopt report. State of the Nation address President Barrow on field government plans for comprehensive transport infrastructure. Gambia Foreign Affairs Minister Tangara participates in ECOWAS meeting in Abuja, leaders addressing key political and security matters. On international news, fighting in Ottoman army recaptures more territory from RSF. More than 1 million people affected by floods in the northeastern Bangladesh. Iran presidential runoff, Pezeshkian and Jalili hold final rallies ahead of the historic vote. Well, those were the headlines. So now the news in detail. The Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs held a press conference at the Quadrangle building in Banjul today to announce the formation of a special task force dedicated to investigating illegal encroachment within government layouts in the Gambia. Specifically, the task force with focus of encroachment within the Tambi wetlands of Cape Point and Joshua. Sally Kamara reports.
The formation of the task force is in line with the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs commitment to implementing comprehensive reforms programs aimed at enhancing transparency, efficiency and sustainability in land management and governance. The press conference held on Thursday, the 4th of July 2024 at the ministry premises in Banjul aims to announce the launch of the special task force assigned to investigating encroachment within the government layouts and the Tanbi wetlands at Cape Point and Joshua. These locations are seen as valuable ecological assets that support a wide variety of plants and animal species. Speaking at the press conference, Permanent Secretary Sophie Sankara Faraj revealed some of the reform programs the ministry has outlined for the task force, as these reforms are essential for fostering a more transparent, accountable and inclusive land governance.
Areas of our reform program include modernizing land administration, enhancing legal and regulatory frameworks, promoting sustainable land use, strengthening institutional capacities, and increasing public administration.
Minister of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, Hamad Nkeba, speaks on the urgencies of addressing the escalating land crisis in the country.
I always ask the question, why when you steal a car, you are charged and taken to police? Even the buyer is charged. But when you steal land, you are not charged to court. Why? The same country, the same laws. Nobody have answered my question. I can steal your land, go and sell it. When I'm caught, I'm not charged for stealing. The buyer is not charged for buying stolen material. But when I steal your car, they will charge me for both crimes, both the buyer and the thief. Why the difference in the law? Why is it discriminate? People are committing crimes on daily basis, selling what does not belong to them, and they go scot-free. Agencies in the name of estate agencies rob an entire family, people.
He also stressed the importance of holding individuals accountable for the illegal land transactions, noting that owning a land is a fundamental right that should not be violated.
By minister, director, permanent secretary, official, whatever, you don't own the land. You are an officer employed to help manage the usage of that land. It does not give you automatic ownership. Who are you to be giving land without going through due process? Who are you? Because you are an employee of the ministry? You are like any other government employee. And then we've seen double allocation everywhere. The recent report we got on Salaji, is it Salaji layout? Yet to come public is a very bad reading. Terrible reading. Very bad reading. And these are deliberate things done by people who don't fear the law.
The reforms initiated by the ministry aim to establish a robust framework that promotes sustainable development, social justice, and fair land distribution for all Gambians. The formation of the Special Task Force is seen as a proactive measure to address and resolve pressing land issues by thoroughly investigating illegal activities and recommending appropriate actions to rectify the situation and prevent future occurrences. Reporting for Star TV News, I am Sally Kamara.
The Select Committee on Health, Disaster, Humanitarian Relief and Refugees presented its report on the Nutrition Bill 2023 on Thursday. The report includes findings and recommendations aimed at strengthening nutrition security in the Gambia. Maria Madam has more on that.
The Nutrition Bill 2023 was initially tabled by the Vice President Mohamed P.S. Jallow on March 4, 2024 during the first ordinary session of the 2024 legislative year. Following debates on its general merits and principles and referred to the Assembly Business Committee for committal to the relevant committee or committees as dictated by Standing Order 68 of the National Assembly. The bill was eventually reviewed by the Select Committee on Health, Disaster, Humanitarian Relief and Refugees. Following the completion of their tasks, Honorable Modul Amin Biba, Vice Chairperson of the committee, presented its report to the Assembly on July 4, 2024 without amendments.
Methods to gather evidence. A. Call witnesses to testify. B. Call for submission of question papers. C. Convene meetings to rationalize and harmonize proposals for amendments. D. Convene meetings to validate the bill with its proposed amendments. The proceedings. The committee relied on the testimonies of witnesses and the question papers to review the details of the whole bill, clause by clause, taking due notice on any input aimed at adding value to the content of the bill.
The report highlights measures proposed in the bill to ensure adequate nutritional services, strengthen coordination among stakeholders, establish governance structures, and review relevant legislation. The committee thoroughly reviewed each clause of the bill in accordance with the country's constitution and laws, making recommendations for further enhancements. One of the key recommendations included amending Part 5 of the bill to establish a national alliance for food fortification, along with the appointment of a coordinator and facilitator.
Part 6 that talks about food fortification. Opinion of the committee on clauses 26 to 35 of Part 6, no amendment is proposed. The committee recommends that the clauses 26 to 35 stands as part of the bill. Both the committee and the National Nutrition Agency further propose that Part 6 of the bill be amended to include the establishment of the National Alliance for Food Fortification. There is established a National Alliance for Food Fortification comprised of the Deputy Permanent Secretary of the Vice President, the Executive Director of National Nutrition Agency, Director of Planning, Research and Resource Mobilization, National Nutrition Agency.
The proposed nutrition bill in the Gambia is a vital step towards ensuring citizens' rights to adequate nutrition.
In conclusion, Honorable Speaker, the proposed nutrition bill in the Gambia represents a significant step towards safeguarding the rights of its citizens to adequate nutrition by aligning the constitutional principles and international agreements enacting this legislation will enable the government to ensure the provision of essential nutritional services, enhance coordination among stakeholders, establish effective governance structures, and empower institutions to address the needs of vulnerable population. By promptly enacting this bill, the Gambia demonstrates its commitment to prioritizing the well-being of its people and to achieving its nutrition policy goals without delay. Honorable Speaker, given the above-mentioned observation and recommendation, the Select Committee on Health hereby submit this report for your consideration and adoption by this August Assembly.
The report was unanimously adopted by the National Assembly, setting the stage for a third reading that will determine its fate.
And now to the question, honorable members. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do adopt the report of the National Assembly Select Committee on Health, Children, Refugees, and Humanitarian Relief on the Nutrition Bill 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it.
The Nutrition Bill 2023 comprises of 10 parts and 49 clauses. Primary objective is to protect the food and nutrition security rights of Gambians in accordance with the country's constitution and international agreements. Key measures proposed in the bill includes guaranteeing sufficient nutritional services, enhancing collaboration among various stakeholders, creating governance systems, and revising pertinent laws. Additionally, the bill underscores the importance of promptly executing policy objectives to enhance the overall welfare of the populace. Maria Madam, reporting for Star TV News.
During his State of the Nation address, His Excellency President Adama Barrow affirmed his administration's dedication to developing a comprehensive transport infrastructure in line with the recovery-focused National Development Plan. Hadijaju has the rest of that.
The government of the Gambia has identified infrastructure development as a crucial component of the National Development Plan, with notable advancements in both urban and rural roads. President Barrow outlined key developments in infrastructure during his recent State of the Nation address.
The Barton-Hardin Highway and its feeder roads, for example, are near completion. The Rural Roads Program, stretching 365 kilometers and fully funded by the national budget, is advancing smoothly. In 2023, Mr. Speaker, we completed the Salum, Nyanija, and Sabasanjal roads. By the end of 2024, we expect to complete Kiang West roads, Nyomi Hakalang, and a significant portion of the 365 kilometers of roads nationwide.
Specifically, in the realm of water transportation, President Barrow disclosed that the government is finalizing a concession contract with Alvera Company Limited. This initiative aims to improve port efficiency and construct a new deep-sea port in Sanyang, in addition to procuring 2 new ferries to ensure secure and reliable ferry services on the Banjul-Bara route, thereby bolstering the economy.
The transport sector contributes significantly to the economy. The Gambia Port Authority, for instance, recorded revenue collection of $1.563 billion in 2023. Representing a 2% increase over $1.534 billion collected in 2023.
The President also highlighted a 20.4% increase in the Gambia Port Authority's gross profit of $1.199 billion, compared to $996,134,000 in 2022. Unfortunately, due to high operational costs and the negative impact of the exchange rate of the authority's revenue, a marginal increase of 2% in the revenue was recorded for the year. The Gambia Transport Service Company, he said, has similarly made strides in enhancing public transport services, providing safe and cost-effective options nationwide.
Honorable Speaker, in the area of aviation and maritime operations, aside from undertaking comprehensive reforms to align operations with international standards and best practice, we are inviting our human capital for a viable skilled workforce. In this respect, 23 students are currently sponsored at the Regional Maritime University in Ghana, studying various engineering fields. All the first cohort of students graduated with distinction.
Moreover, in the communication and digital economy sector, President Barrow announced the formulation of policies and regulations by the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy and stakeholders to propel the Gambia's digital transformation.
The instruments developed so far range from the Digital Economy Master Plan 2023, the Digital Addressing Policy, Fiber Protection Policy, and Open Data Policy to a digital strategy. For enhanced security and compliance, a registration system is equally in place to ensure that only authentic devices operate within the...
Significant progress in e-government initiatives have been registered with support of the World Bank through the Western Africa Digital Integration Program. This involves rolling out a second submarine cable to speed up connectivity and provide crucial international redundancy for the country. Looking ahead, the government plans to present the Malabo Convention to the National Assembly for ratification this year, which will bolster collaboration in managing cross-border cybersecurity. For Star TV News, I am Hadijaju.
Foreign Affairs Minister Dr. Mamadou Tangara from the Gambia is currently in Abuja, Nigeria, attending the 52nd session of the Mediation and Security Council at a ministerial level. The main focus of the meeting is to evaluate the political peace and security situation in the sub-region. During his opening remarks, Dr. Omar Aliou Toure, President of the ECOWAS Commission, discussed the extensive discussions that took place during the ambassadorial preparatory meeting regarding the Commission's efforts in addressing the political security and humanitarian developments in the sub-region. Dr. Toure also stated that the upcoming ECOWAS summit will review memoranda related to the political peace and security situation in the sub-region, as well as the operationalization of the ECOWAS security architecture and the report of the meeting on finance and defense ministers. Nigerian Foreign Affairs Minister and Chairman of ECOWAS Council of Ministers Yusuf Tuga emphasized the threat of terrorism as a major concern for the community. Minister Tuga called for a united approach in addressing the challenges faced by member states, stating that the fight against terrorism is a collective responsibility that requires unwavering commitment from all countries within ECOWAS, including those in the Sahelian belt. The ECOWAS Heads of State Summit is scheduled to take place later this week in Abuja, Nigeria. From that story, we will now take a short commercial break, and when we return, the news continues. Please stay tuned.
And you are its rock, and I believe you can do it.
Thank you.
Banks Entertainment in partnership with Comion presents Rising Stars Africa Season 4. Compete for the grand prize of $150,000 and become Comion's brand ambassador. Auditions are slated for May 25th, 2024, June 1st, June 8th, all happening at Baobab Hotel Bigelow at 9 a.m. Audition forms are available at all Comion branches and Cash Shop, Kairaba Avenue, Star TV and GRTS. All audition forms are free. To participate or sponsor, please call 644 or 648-8703.
Welcome back after that short commercial break. If you just tuning in, this is Star TV News. Now on the international news, Sudan's army has taken over more territory from the paramilitary Rapid Support Force in the city of Omdurman. Al-Duhad district was recaptured on Tuesday after days of fighting. Civilians have fled the area since the conflict began in April last year. Al Jazeera's Hiba Morgan reports from Omdurman, Sudan.
Street is part of the latest territorial gain made by the Sudanese army against the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces here in the city of Omdurman. We're in the district of El Doha in Old Omdurman, the latest district to be recaptured by the Sudanese army from the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. Now, this police station here, according to the Sudanese army, is where the RSF had their forces and was their major headquarters here in the district of El Doha, which the army was able to recapture from the RSF on Tuesday.
The district of Doha has been completely liberated from the enemy rebel forces who carried out all kinds of violations here. Now the special forces and the other forces that have participated have taken over the city, and we will now march to liberate the rest of Omdurman, then Khartoum City and Gezira State, and then Darfur. People can now come back to Doha district. The police are back. Services are returning here.
Now, fighting between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces continues not just in Omdurman, but elsewhere around the country. The army was able to recapture Al Doha district, but fighting is still ongoing around the neighborhood. We can hear the sounds of heavy artillery and the exchange of gunfire between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces. And the destruction as a result of the fighting can be seen almost in every street in the district. And Doha is quite significant because it is a major defense line for the paramilitary rapid support forces, for their forces in West Omdurman in the district of Umbadda, as well as in southwest Omdurman in the district of Salha. With the loss of Doha district for the RSF, this means that the army would be able to progress further westwards in the city of Omdurman and southwest as well, and take over more territory from the paramilitary rapid support forces. Omdurman is where the army is making significant gains, but elsewhere around the country, the progress is slower. The army lost the city of Sinjar to the paramilitary rapid support forces and continues to fight them in other parts of Sennar State in southwest Sudan. Meanwhile here, forces say that they're quite happy that they were able to make a significant progress here in the city to show them and to lift the morals of the army, at least here in the capital, Khartoum. Hiba Morgan, Al Jazeera, Omdurman.
More than 1 million people have been affected by flooding in Bangladesh. Authorities have warned of dangerous flood levels in 13 districts in the Sylhet division in the northeast. Tens of thousands have been isolated by flood waters. Thousands more have been evacuated to temporary shelters after continuous rain for nearly a month. Al Jazeera's Tanveer Jewelry reports from near the city of Sylhet, Bangladesh.
Basically, it's a hinterland. It's 20 kilometers from the Sylhet city. Sylhet is a division which has incorporated a lot of districts in it, and many of those districts are inundated. It's about just 45 kilometers from the Indian border. Village after village, we came through this boat, have been inundated because all these bushes and trees you see enclaves inside their homes. So a lot of the villagers are stuck there. They're basically marooned. The government said about 700,000 people are affected this time. This is the second round of flood. There was flood in the beginning of June where 2 million people were affected. So this flood is very devastating. It's not just the monsoon rain, it's the water coming from the India's northeastern state of Assam and Meghalaya, which flows through Bangladesh, through the valley, into the river system in Bangladesh, and eventually to the Bay of Bengal. And that has devastated this area. This is the second worst flood since last 2 years. In 2022, there was another major flood. And it's not just the northeastern part of the country. Even the southeast is experiencing heavy rain with landslide. The Rohingya refugee camp has been badly affected. At least 2 people died, including a kid, on Wednesday morning. And just about 2 weeks before, there was another landslide where about 10 people died in the Rohingya camp. And in the other parts of the hill tract district, there's been devastating landslide, damaging many homes. And also in the north of Bangladesh, there's heavy flood because of the Tista barrage in India. They opened the floodgate. So a lot of the flood water from India is actually flowing into the northern part of Bangladesh. And there's been an unusual pattern of monsoon, more frequent between July and June. And it's not a typical pattern. The experts say this much to do with the climate impact. System, the El Nino is playing a tricks on this. You see more frequency, and the pattern is different than maybe decades ago. And also a lot of man-made disasters also. Deforestation in the Indian northeast hilly mountain regions, which is causing floodwater to flow more easily and causing landslide. There's also siltation in most of the rivers on the northeast. There hasn't been dredging in decades. And then there is this valley, which is known as Shunamganj Valley, which goes all the way into the river system. It's a 170-kilometer range. In between, in Kisharganj district, they built a 30-kilometer highway, which is also obstructing this floodwater with only 900 meters gap. So all this put together, a lot of man-made as well as natural disaster causing this unusual flooding pattern.
Campaigning has ended in Iran ahead of Friday's presidential runoff vote. Reformist-backed Masoud Pezeshkian and ultra-conservative Said Jalali have been holding their final rallies. Al Jazeera's Rasul Sidat has more on both candidates from Tehran.
Iran's runoff presidential election is one of the most contested and unpredictable in the Islamic Republic's history. The two candidates represent different sides of the political spectrum in a divided country. Said Jalili, the former chief nuclear negotiator, is popular among conservatives. He has strong connections in the political elite. He previously served as the secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, a powerful executive body with influence over Iran's security and foreign policies. He is perceived as a staunch loyalist.
We should act like our late president, Ibrahim Raisi. We will fight against sanctions, but also seize new opportunities. We must make our enemies regret imposing sanctions on us.
Jalili ran for presidency in 2013, losing to Hassan Rouhani. In 2021, he withdrew in favor of Ibrahim Raisi, a fellow conservative whose death in a helicopter crash in May triggered this early election. This time, Jalili may have a better chance of success, depending on how the nearly 3.5 million people who chose Mohammad Bakr Kalibaf last week decide to vote this week. However, the reformist candidate Masoud Pezeshkian also appeals to conservatives. The Guardian Council did not approve Pezeshkian's candidacy in the 2013 and 2021 presidential votes. He served as health minister from 2001 to 2005 under Iran's first reformist president Mohammad Khatami. Pezeshkian still enjoys Khatami's support. Former President Hassan Rouhani and Foreign Minister Javad Zarif also endorsed his campaign. Many believe these influential backers could be the key to Pezeshkian's victory. But he's treading carefully.
I have a nationalist approach when it comes to foreign policy. For me, foreign policy means the interests of Iran and Iranians.
The first round saw a record low turnout. Voter apathy is a major concern for authorities. And the Supreme Leader has urged people to cast their ballots.
I have repeatedly said that people's attendance is a source of dignity and pride for the country. If the election has high turnout, then the Islamic Republic will be able to fulfill its goals.
Another low turnout could benefit Jalili, while a higher turnout could be in Pezeshkian's favor, especially if he is able to mobilize reformists. Resul Serdar, Al Jazeera, Tehran.
Well, before we end the news, a quick recap of our headlines. Ministry of Lands forms special task force to investigate land transaction in government layouts, enhancing transparency in land management. Assembly Select Committee on Health presents findings on Nutrition Bill 2023. Lawmakers unanimously adopt report. State of the Nation address President Barrow on fields government plans for comprehensive transport infrastructure. Gambia Foreign Affairs Minister Tangara participates in ECOWAS meeting in Abuja, leaders addressing key political and security matters. On international news, fighting in Omdurman army recaptures more territory from RSF. More than 1 million people affected by floods in the northeastern Bangladesh. Iran presidential runoff, Pezeshkian and Jalili hold final rallies ahead of the historic vote. Well, that's all for this edition of the news. Do enjoy the rest of the wonderful programs. Once again, thanks for your very company. I am Fadera. Thanks for watching.